All right, so I have my new wire harness for USB connector, and you could watch the other video on the issue that I had with this. The original one that I bought for the CT125 was meant for the CT125 Japanese market bike. The US market one behind the headlight here was, the Japanese bike behind the headlight. If you actually take the headlight out, behind there's actually a plug. There's a plug for this that, it's very short. This thing, that one's very short, and the plug's in there. But the US market one doesn't have that plug back here. There's nothing back there to plug in. So I had to buy the this one right here. I had to buy this for the from the one I'm using right here. This one is from the Grom/Monkey. So they use the same one. Or you could also use the Super Cub one as well. So either the Monkey one or the Super Cub one will work. So this one is from the Monkey one. Okay, so you see the wire's a lot longer. So let's see what I did here. Stuck in the so where the key is, right? Your instrument. So there's a rubber cap right here. Just from the underside, just push. Where the hole is from the underside of that. Just push that off. And this is the rubber cap that's there. So this was the rubber cap that was right here, right? So it's right there. So basically from underneath here, you just push it off and it pops right off. Okay. So we have that. Let's go to the actual here. So you guys could, let me angle it so hopefully you guys can see this. Okay, so you guys see the hole right there. So here on this piece here, actually I took this off already. Oh, where did it go? Oh, here it is. So this way here was actually screwed on. So you actually have to take it off and snake it out from the wire, because so this piece right here goes underneath, underneath this metal bracket. So basically you have to feed this line through here. See what space do I have down here? So I have space right in here. So that's probably where it's going to end up going. So that's just for now. Just feed it through. I'm going straight down from underneath over here, just so it gets out of my way. So I could get this in here, like so. From there, I could feed this through. So this here, there's two sides to it. If you took it out and you got the look, see how this other side right here has has those serrations. So this is not the side that goes in first. So the side that goes in first is the smoother side. So the smooth side is the side that clamps onto the metal plate, the metal plate down there. So this goes against that metal plate. So it's like so. Here, you just look at the USB, see how you want to connect it. I'm probably gonna make it. Let's see, do I want to have this thing that way? So on the Honda one, there's actually a little slit right here. You guys can see that there's a little slit right there. So that way, what was the name of that? So you could time it to just that spot. But this thing right here doesn't have any of that, so it doesn't matter how you put it on, which way you rotate it. It doesn't matter. So I'm probably gonna rotate it in a way where let's see. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. So let's see how I want my cap to open when the cap opens up. I want it to be out of the way, because if it opens up this way, the wire is right here, the cap might be hitting it. Also, it might catch wind. So maybe I want it to be down this way. If it falls down right here, it falls behind the headlight. Hopefully it doesn't catch as much wind, and it won't be flapping around either. So I'm gonna leave it at that, I think. So so this cap end right here, speed it all the way back up again. So I'm gonna leave it like that. And I could tighten this cap from underneath. It's kind of cramped in here, and I have my new rack, front rack. So that's in the way. So that kind of interferes a little bit, but it's all right. Jeez. Put this cap back on here. Jeez, the rack's in my way. So now, let's see if I can tighten this as best I can with whatever access I have. Okay, I think that's tight enough. All right, from there, I'm gonna feed the wire down from the bottom, down here. I'm just gonna feed it down. So let's look at the space you have down here. So there's not much space here, but so see this bracket that's holding this wires in here. There's still empty space right here. So I think I'm gonna feed it down right there, down right here, down in this little space back here. Maybe even this little bracket loop right here as well. So I'm gonna either go down out this way, right here, or I might go up with my fingers out and then out right here, and out that way, like that. One of those two ways, I'm not sure. So let's see how it runs. Where's my bracket on? Let's see if this plug actually I could fish it through here or not. Okay, I could, because this plug's kind of big. Okay, the first one went through, but the second one is too tight. Oh, actually, let's see. Oh man, it just barely fits. Oh, that's a tight squeeze. Oh, come on, get in there. There we go. Very tight squeeze. Okay, there we go. It fits in. So I'm gonna leave a little bit of a space over here on this side. The wire loop. Let's look at the wire loop real quick. So the wire comes down, you see that? That's it right there, it comes down, and then it actually kind of loops down, and it sags down a little bit. Oops, it loops down like so, and it kind of goes up, then it goes into here. So that the reason why I gave it that much space is when you're turning the handlebar, it has enough. It's not pulling on the cable. So especially when you turn it to the right, it's not pulling on the cable. So that's enough space right there for it, I believe. So let's loop this some more. From underneath, let's see. So now it's just a matter of how much space I have to fit this knot through, or this plug through. So it looks like nope, I can't go from the top or from this way over here. There's not enough space, so I have to go from down over here then. That space is pretty tight. The reason I have the camera up on the seat, why it's kind of far away from you guys, or hard for you guys to see, is because if I have the camera over here, it's just in my way, and I can't, one of the hard part about doing these videos is that when the camera's in your way, it's like it takes 10 times longer to do because the camera's in the way. When the camera's out of the way, even though it's never truly out of the way, it's in one way or another, it's always kind of in the way. It still takes 2-3 times longer because you have to mess with the camera, fuss with it and such. Oh wow, this one's way longer than it needs to be. So I'm actually gonna pull some cable back, giving myself even more slack up front. And anytime you do that, you should always make sure you go lock to lock and see how the cable is. So that way you ensure that you have enough space basically. So I got plenty of space here. I have like easily a foot. So let's actually move the camera angle. So looks like I have about, oh, like I said, easily a foot of space. So see that? See that? Well, that's more than a foot. That's like 18 inches. And my plug is right here, this red plug. That's where I want to plug this side into. So looks like, what should I do? So right here, there's a, oops, let's get this camera down. So right in here, there's this metal loop right here where the battery cover right here, it screws onto. Underneath here, there's nothing, it's just dead space. So whatever extra, I'm gonna tuck it right into that dead space right there. Like so, just like that. Okay, so I'm using the original bends that, you know, when it was packaged, you know, that's how they looped it or folded up the that's how they folded up the cable. So I'm just use that like so. So I already have this cable here. This is my my pigtail for my electric vest slash battery charger. All right. Unplug that. It was actually plugged in. It's actually still plugged in. Okay, so here, a little closer here, hopefully. So here, this right here, this is sort of just a little bracket right here that holds this in place, like so. So this is that diagnostic plug that I said, you know, is a male. It's basically this one right here. So to take that off, you have to lift this little thingamabob right here. The lock is the little thing right there that you lift up. Once you lift that up, because that's what locks it. So then you pull it apart. There you go. See this and that's all the same. They're identical. So from there, the new one, or this new plug here, I just plug that in too. Now I have my power. So this one's just kind of free, you know. This little spot here, I'm gonna use this plug and that thingamabob, and I'm gonna stick it back in here. I'm just gonna use this as that connection point. Kind of organize these cables around a little bit, give me a little bit more slack. That way I could just hook this onto right here. And that way it kind of helps hold everything in place, like so. That's it. I'm gonna leave it at that. So the cover kind of go over here. So it's gonna be like something like this. Right, something like that, and that's it. I'm done. Now all I need to do is put everything back together. But actually, before I do that, let's see if this works. So that's plugged in already. Keys there. Let's see if this thing lights up. I'm not sure if this USB lights up or not. Because sometimes, you know, the USB plug here, it might light up. Some of them do, some of them don't. I'm not sure this one does. So we can see it's white. Jeez, what the heck is that? That sounds like the fuel pump, but it sounded kind of goofy. No, I can't see. Yeah, I can't see. Anyways, I'll check this thing off camera. So if it works, you won't see anything again. If it doesn't work, then I will add another clip to this video. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. All right, so you've seen this clip. So this didn't work. So I looked at it. I haven't actually checked which one's which, but I just looked at the color. The color of the plug on this new USB harness right here. It doesn't match up with the harness one. This one's actually different. So if you plug it in, so I can do this with one hand. Just plug it in like so, right? So basically, it's not plugged in, but it's almost plugged in. This top left one is red on this one. On this one, that same one, corresponding one is black. On this one, the blacks are actually on the right side instead of the left side. So the lines don't match up. The yellow one does though. The yellow one bottom left, right? So this one on this side, the corresponding one is yellow, so that's good. The thing that's different on this side is that this one up here is blue. Over here there is no blue. You know, this one's green, right? Bottom's yellow. Bottom left is yellow, and bottom right is green. On this one, the bottom right is green. So I think. So it's a green and black line. So I think the green and yellow matches. It's just the red and black don't match. So basically, I think over here, the blue is supposed to be the red, and the black is black. Usually on vehicles, black is always black. Same with green. Green is usually always green. So anyway, so I think these two, I need to switch these two wires, and it should work. But before I even do that, I'm gonna put my voltmeter on these four and see where, you know, what's what. And I might look at the paperwork for this and see if they say anything about which color is which. So once I do that, I probably have to do it too on this side as well, on this little connector, this dummy connector here as well. Okay, so I'll do that off camera and we'll see how it works. And I'll be back with another clip. All right. So I have some interesting results. I was testing this right here. So the colors wasn't as what I thought. So I would thought right. The green is usually on a vehicle. Green is always ground, right? But the other three will actually has power. So the blue one here has 4.5 volts. The black one with the white stripe has I think it was 12.5 volts. Then the yellow one had 11.5 volts. If I turn the engine on, the 12.5 becomes 13.5. The 11.5 becomes 12.5, but the 4.5 stays at about 4.5 or 4.7. So actually, let's look at this right here. So I'm gonna put my black to ground. So right now the ignition is off. Let me turn on the ignition. Turn on the key. So you can see this is the blue wire, 4.7. So basically that stays the same. Even it doesn't matter if the ignition is off or not. So 4.7. So that's the blue wire. The yellow wire. Let's look at the yellow wire. That one is. Dang it! Kind of hard to do this. Yellow wire is 10.5, 10.6, 10.57. So basically about 10.5. And the black wire is 11.5. So let's turn the thing on. So the blue stays the same, 4.7, right? The vibrations make this thing slide down. The yellow wire goes up 1 volt to 12.5, and the black wire goes up 1 volt to 13.5, you know, approximately. So there you go. So now I have to double check the new USB plug and see which one's which. Why it didn't, you know, turn on. So let's see why that problem is. So up here where the USB plug is, there's only 2 power wires. One is red and one is black. So the red one I assume is hot, and the black one I assume is ground or negative. And those wires are pretty thick. Going back to this harness here, or this plug here, the black and red. or thick. So so this blue or this yellow and green is this yellow and green here is connects to here. So that's for diagnostic. Yellow and green is for diagnostic on this plug right here. So these two are the you know. So basically, what I have to do is I actually have to, because if the red is the positive and the black is the ground on this side, that means to plug into this one, it would be let's see, this side the black was the higher voltage. So the black and the red, they correspond. So this black one over here, this one actually has to go to where the green one is. So for it to work, what I might do is I might just, yeah, actually I'm gonna have to look at this, compare this plug to the monkey. Because I have my monkey here, but I don't have the Super Cub anymore. I literally just sold the Super Cub a few hours ago, so I don't have nothing to reference. So maybe I might have to go back to my videos, and hopefully I have I have a shot of how the wire on that one was laid out. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to double check that. All right, so I'm looking at this plug, and look at that. The positive and negative, it's diagonal. It's not, side by side. Whereas with this one right here, it's side by side. So since this one was meant for the Grom, and it should fit the monkey, I'm gonna look at the monkey real fast and see if it's side by side versus diagonal. And this is what I remember too on my Super Cub. The Super Cub was actually diagonal. So so maybe, earlier in the video I had mentioned that, because this right here was meant for the Grom and monkey, I mentioned, oh, you use the same cable. So now it looks like not. It's probably better for you to buy the cable for the Super Cub, and that way you don't have to mess around with this at all. Because this is still, this right here still, you're still goofing around with stuff. You're still messing around with things. Yeah. So stay tuned. Okay, so I'm back. I just looked at my Super Cub. Excuse me, not the Super Cub. I saw that I looked at the monkey. This red wire on the monkey, the red wire on the monkey is identical to this wire here, as far as like where the placement of the wires and stuff, how it corresponds. So they're identical. So basically, that tells me is that this cable harness right here, because it's different. Maybe on the Grom it's the same, but now that I see the monkey and the trail is the same, I doubt that the Grom is different. So I think this one's different, or it could be that because this is a North American, these are North American bikes that I have, and this right here is for Japan. It's from Japan. It could be the Japanese bike is different, but even then I still kind of doubt it. But it's possible. I can't say 100% because on the trail behind the headlight there was a plug on the Japanese one, but on the American one they don't have that plug. So I can't, I don't know 100% for sure, but whatever the case, I have to make the power cable here diagonal, just like it is in here. So basically it's like, let's see, how is this? It's like this. So yeah, so the red is in the right place. It's the black one is not in the right place. So I have to put the black one down here on the bottom. So since I'm gonna do that, I am probably gonna eliminate this right here because I don't want to, because now I have doubt on which one's which. So I don't want to put things in a improper place and potentially cause a short circuit somewhere, and fry something, right? Cause something to burn out. So yeah, I'll probably do that instead. So I'm not sure if I have a tool to get this wire out or not. I think I do, but it's hard to say. So anyways, I'll get working on this, and I'll be back in another clip. All right, so I didn't have the proper tool to take this out properly, because I don't want to break anything. So because I was trying to work it out and get it out, but I just couldn't get it out. So what I'm gonna do instead of using this one with the long cable which reach, I'm gonna see if I could try to use the the original one that I got and use the red adapter plug. So if I looking at it properly, it looks like it has just enough space and that is just enough to reach with my steering lock all the way to the right, and it still has enough space. So I'm gonna stick this one in and see. So let's go through this again. And you saw there, I did the other one, so I don't think I need to explain this one too much, right? So I'm just gonna stick it in and go from there. So this one's gonna be a little bit easier because there's not a whole bunch of cables in the way. Cap, so that's my little cap, and this way. Okay, that's tight enough. So I have enough cable here. I'm gonna try to make this run as short as possible. Cable run through in here as short as possible, so that way I don't have enough. The way it doesn't go around anything. And I have no space. I think I do, but who knows? So if I go up on the top, it might be too. Let's see. So I'm just looking at where my cable here is ending up, routing it this way versus routing it from the bottom, which is routing from right here. Let's see, let's try that out. See if the cable ends up in the same spot or not. We'll see how much space I have. Preferably, I would rather on the bottom right here because the things are already sort of in place. They sort of have a place for you, I should say. Let's see. So this one, these bullet connectors, is nice and small, so I actually routed underneath here. Like the other one, I wasn't able to do that because well, actually this one, no, they end up at the same exact spot. Okay, so I think I'd rather put it down here. That way this cable is a little bit more protected instead of being up here. And here, let's get a close up real fast. So you guys see this or not? So here's where my cable ends, right there, and this right here. So I have just enough space. I have an extra inch or so of room. So that gives me a little bit of wiggle room here. Because for now I'm kind of pulling this all the way as I could, and then my steering wheel is full locked. And that on the side that takes up all the slack. So I should be okay. All right, so the only thing I need to do here, because the USB plug side has a male and female bullet, whereas this red adapter plug here, they're both female bullets. So I'm gonna have to snip one off. I need to double check which one and turn that into a male bullet. The good thing is that I have the male connectors, so we're good there. So this is a lot easier to do since I have the tools and everything. So stay tuned for that. All right, so looking at this. So this where the USB is coming from. So obviously the red is the positive side, which is the male. The ground is the black side, which is female, and that's right, because this side is the receiving side. This is the side that receives the power. This side is the side that's giving power. So the side that gives the power where the hot wire should be covered, not exposed. So it has the female, and the side that has the bullet that's exposed is the male, is receiving the hot wire. So that way you could never accidentally, if you take this apart and accidentally touch this to the frame or something like that and create a short, it's protected so it doesn't have a short. So that's how it's supposed to be. So that means this ground over here, which is a female, I need to snip this and turn this into a male. So that way it can plug into that side. So these are Japanese connectors. I know that because I have a set of, something that's mostly used up. I only have like a few plugs left. So I do have a male. Actually, I'm not even sure this is the actual Japanese connectors or not. It might not be, but I'm gonna give it a shot and see what happens. Actually, I have the male right here. Let me see if I could maybe try to, because I'm not sure this bullet, the size of this bullet here, I'm not sure if it's the same as it is here. Oh yeah, it's the same. Okay, so I'm good there. So that's what I want. So I have to snip the cable end over here, but because I have only so much length, I have to basically snip this at the very where it's crimped. If I snip it back here, it won't be long enough. So I literally have to snip it right there. So the cable itself ends at the end of my fingernail right there, my thumbnail. I'm gonna snip it on my left thumbnail, and I'm gonna snip it over here on my right thumbnail. I don't know if I can actually just pull this off, because I don't think that's gonna work. It's possible that I could like pry this connector open and save this wire here and not have to cut it at all. Potentially I could do that. So that's not. Yeah, I could try that, but man, it's gonna be very difficult. It might not work. So let me try that. I'll do that off screen because it's gonna take a while to do it properly. All right, so let me show you what I did. So here's the female connector. So I took some needle nose. I just basically grabbed it right there. I have a little pointy, scribe, or whatever you want to call it. And so this female bullet connector has two crimps. It has a crimp where my fingernail is. That crimps the bare wire, and it has another crimp over here which crimps the wire with the insulator on it. So the part that crimps the insulator as well, that part actually hooks into the insulator and until it reaches the bare wire. So you have to basically unhook it. So basically I did this. I just kind of poke it in like so. I just bent it upwards. And I did the same thing on this side as well. And I hooked it. I held it like so. And I bent it upwards. Because remember, I'm trying to preserve this and then do the minimum amount of cuts as possible. So now it's hooked in a way that it's not hooking this insulator anymore. So I think because this first crimp at the end here is it's just bare wires. So I think it might not be that tight. So I could just kind of pull on it and the wires will slide out. So let's see if that works or not. Oh, I see it coming out. Come on, baby, come out. Oh man, nope, it's not coming out. Actually, what was happening was the insulator was stretching, or being compressed, because the wire over here still is exactly the same. There's no change in the wires. So I'm gonna try to do the same thing with this little thing right here, and hook it into the crimp with the bare wires, and see if I can open it up and release the pressure on the wires. So let me do that off screen, because again, it takes a little bit of time. You have to slowly work at it. All right, well, it looks like I wasn't able to get that. It's just in there so tight, I don't have anything to really do it. So I'm just gonna cut it right where the right here, right where the this tight crimp ends right there. So that way I lose the minimum amount of wires possible. So unfortunately, I would have rather have saved it, but it is what it is. Okay, so there it is. off. The other end, so I didn't lose too much. You know, I probably lost maybe at most is probably a 1/4 inch or so. So I need to get my wire strips and strip this band. My wire strippers. Okay, wire strippers. So let me take this ground clamp side off because that's the female side. I need to put it on the male side. I'm not sure if I have a male side or not. So let's see how thick this wire is. Probably a metric wire, so it might fit differently. Looks like an 18 gauge, I think. Yep, 18 gauge. It's kind of mangled up, but that's all right. So that's that. Here's my little kit right here. Actually, just angle this down so I don't have to hold it up while I'm holding it up. Here's this little thing right here. This is meant for, and this is also from Japan as well. So this wire kit I have is from Japan. So it's Japanese connectors. So this is the same thing. This is what clamps the bare side and the insulation side. So let's see, where's my bullet? I have a bullet. I need because I took out that clear side. I took out the clear side because everything here that I have, this is all the female bullet side. I actually don't have any male bullet side here anymore, I don't think. Nope. Shoot. So what could I do? I could actually put in a heat shrink. So I might do that. I'm gonna put in a heat shrink right here, and heat shrink this portion, because once it goes in, should be all right. So actually, let me grab my heat shrink. I need to dig that up. I'm not sure what that is. I have a whole giant roll of heat shrink right here. So let's see how much I need. Oh, my bullet. It's gonna go in like so. Where the exposed wire is gonna be the smaller side, and this over here is gonna be the insulation side. So it's gonna be like that. So I'm gonna put in, let's say, a good 1/2 inch of heat shrink. Maybe a little bit more, maybe 3/4 of an inch of heat shrink. Let's see, do I have to cut this thing, put it nice and clean. I don't want to use the wire cutter because that doesn't cut very clean. I'm using a wire stripper cutter. It's a cleaner cut. So let's cut it about, maybe this is probably about 20 millimeters. That's probably about 20 millimeters or so. So it should fit in here. So I got my heat shrink right there. Got my bullet. So let's look at this tool right here. So this tool has different sizes. So you gotta figure out what size is which. So let's see, I think I haven't used this in so long, I forgot how to use it. It's like this. Yeah, it's like that. So basically on here, the side that's a male, that's a male will fit on the back side of this bullet. See how the bullet is it's the open side, that's one side's open. So on here, the male side fits on the closed side, and the female side will fit on the open side. So that's how it works. Let's see. Let me see. I think, let me try D, see if D works good. So D, that. Maybe let's try C then. C. You see it's this way. So remember the male side is on the solid side, and the female side is on the hollow side. So let's try that. Feed this through just enough that it passes that spot. We are good. Looks like we are good right about there. Squeeze it down. What it does is how the two wings. See how the two wings are coming up? This thing will roll that wing downwards, inwards. I'm not sure if that's good or not. Nope, that's not good. It just slipped right out. Oops. Let's dip it back in. So let's see if I can squeeze it down with C. I might have to go down to D. So I guess get the initial setting with C. Yeah, it's not gonna squeeze in anymore. Nope. Shit. God damn it. Oh my God. So D didn't work, or initially with C, then let's go to D. So D should work. Okay, there we go. I felt it. Okay, it should be a little tighter. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's nice and tight. So this over here where the insulator is, so that those two wings is gonna get rolled, and it's gonna poke into the insulator. It rolls back into the insulator. Let's see if I could use C. So this one's probably a C, not D like the other one was. Yep, this one's a C. Squeeze tight. Okay. All right, so basically I got myself a new bullet. Like so. All right, because I want this part right to be covered, like so, like that. So I'm gonna slide my heat shrink this thing. Then I can still have the exposed bullet right here, so I can plug it in. And remember, the female side has a little sheath that kind of overlaps a little bit, so my bullet should be protected, so I should be good. Let's see, do I have a freaking heat gun? Yes, I do have a heat gun. Where's that? So let me set up my heat gun and shrink it up real quick. All right, so here's my heat gun. It has a variable adjustment. And there's also a high-low. So there's a high-low here. Let's grab my thingamabob in here. See if this works. You can see that how right there it's still opened up right here. All right, still opened up. Let's see how this works. See the closes. It's not very hot. And adjust the temperature. That should be enough. Yep. See it closing. Or shrinking, I should say. Alright, you guys see that? It shrunk. See that? Now it's all contoured. So that's good. Just put one in. And this has the ground side. So that's good. So that's not going to move anywhere. So I'm good. Let's go back to our plug here. This is one continuous frame here. So I already got my wire back here from earlier. So my red plug, instead of being where it plugs right here, I'm just gonna kind of move it over here like that. So actually, let's plug this in first. So let's do this one first. So anyways, this is the ground anyway, so it doesn't matter. So if this gets exposed and touched, who cares? It's the ground, unless it touches. Oh, what the hell? Damn, this thing. Oh, the female on this side is huge. Oh, you know what I did earlier? I had one in like this. That's why it fit. I put this bullet. I checked it with this one. I didn't check it with this one. So this one is huge. This female side is huge. Wow, it's like throwing a hot dog down the hallway. There's no fit in there. I don't have any bullets that are actually that big. I don't think. Yeah, none of my bullets are that big. Well, this one's actually, let's see. Well, that one's a little bit bigger. Nope, it's the same. Yep, it's the same. Man, that's straight up hot dog in the hallway right there, man. Okay, so what I could do here is I could actually squeeze this female side tighter, so that way it does fit. Let me pull this out here. This is a real pain in the ass, but you know, it's what it is. Shoot, this thing is kind of tight. Kind of tight here. Here's my little pliers. Okay, there. So I grab this right here. Grab that. Pull this sheeting back. Oops. Well, this has a tight fit along the insulator right here. It looks like it's almost like a heat shrink almost. There it goes. Just a little bit of twisting did it. Okay, so where was my cable? So this was right here. So that's way too big. I basically have to squeeze this in a little bit. I should have something round that squeezes in, so that way it doesn't, it's not all flattened. Let me use my piece, this piece here, and see how well that works. Just to kind of, at least this one blocks it in by 3 sides instead of just 2 sides and causing it to go flat. So those of you that are curious as far as making, buying Japanese connectors and such, there's a guy on the internet that I think he's Canadian, and he lives in Japan, and he sells Japanese connectors like for motorcycles and such that motorcycle uses. So he's called Eastern Beaver. I guess East because he's out lives in the East, right, in Japan. But Beaver, I guess Beaver has something to do with Canadian. I don't know, for you Canadians, let me know what part of Canada is the Beaver. Oh, still a little bit too loose. Squeeze it a little bit more, so I can't use this one anymore. I don't think this one's gonna work anymore. Basically, I have to make the 2 ends how it's rolled in like so. It's already touching, so it can't make any smaller. So I have to make it so that way it overlaps each other. So that's gonna be the hard part of it there, to make it overlap nicely instead of just getting crimped and then rolling in on itself. That would be bad. So I think what I have to do is have to squeeze one side in a little bit more than the other side. This pliers are gonna be small enough, or 2 pliers are gonna be strong enough, I don't think. It's kind of kind of flattened already. Instead of being round, you know, this side over here is kind of flattened already. So I don't like that, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, it's tighter. Let's see if my bullet fits. What's my bullet? What's my thing? Oh yeah, oh, it's a little too tight. Yeah, it's a little too tight there. So now to kind of stick something back in here to expand it out. Maybe a screwdriver or something like that. Or let's see. Or my little pick here. Oops, wrong side. Nope, that's not. That's too small. Something a little bit bigger. So, anyways, let me work this until I got it and record again. Okay, so I took this little mini screwdriver. So the diameter here was big enough to stick it through, and I stuck it on here. It feels like it's just about right. Yeah, feels just about right. I could always kind of squeeze it a little bit right there. So let's get this back to normal again. It's back out where it's supposed to be, like so. This one's where it is. So let's hook it from underneath right here. Like so. Let's get our bullet connectors. So let's do this one first. This is the treble one. Oh yeah, it fits. Yeah, it's a good fit. Yeah, snug enough. Let's see this one here. This one fits too. I actually the female on this side was actually a little tight. So I actually had to kind of plug it in and kind of let it stretch itself out. So now that's good there, and this type of connector is kind of waterproofish, not totally, but you know, but it helps. So here's my connector here. Let's see, so it's like that. Okay, it's all plugged in. All right, so let's see if my thingambob here turns on. So I think this lights up. Let's see if it lights up. Oh, see that? It lit up. See that? Oh, there's so much light in this garage. Let me turn some of the lights down a little bit. Okay, some of the lights are down. Let's look at it again. Yep, it lights up, so that's good. So we're good, we're in business. And that's it, that's how you connect it. There's just enough space here, enough length here and this thing's locked all the way to the right, so that means, you know, it doesn't need any more cable. It doesn't need any more stack than that. And that's it, we're done. Thanks for watching.